Money is an abstract concept. So I've heard people say this before, but no one can explain what it really meant. So, you know, one day I woke up and all this stuff was in my mind, and I guess I've learned things, through the years. So money is an abstract concept. So basically, based on what I learned, and first let me say, I am not trying to predict the future or what would happen in the future because I have no idea what would happen in the future. But this whole concept makes a lot of sense to me. It's something that people around the world may run into in the future. It's a brick wall. So the information I have, if they do run into this, I feel may help out future generations. So if money is an abstract concept, so that means that basically if you burned all the money in the world, if you burned it all up, would we be able to survive? And the reason why that's so important is because during the Depression, people have committed suicide, and I've heard horrible stories about what people did during the Depression when people felt that they didn't have money or they lost all their money. So when you look at it like this, if you burned all the money in the world, and the only time I would worry, and it wouldn't be around money, it would be around our resources. So what are resources? First of all, resources are what humans need to survive, to be comfortable, and to live happily. So first of all, our most important resource is water. You need water to survive. Then second, you need food, and then you need shelter. And then after that, we have our conveniences. So money has no effect on any of that if you burned it all. So if you burned all the money, would you still be able to have water? Yes, you would have water to survive. Would you have food to survive? Yes, because your food comes from the ground. It comes from animals. Animals will still produce. Then all your materials that you need to survive, like your metals, your wood, your steel, your glass, you will still have that. So if that is the case, then why did we need money? So if we remove money from this, and say, for example, we wanted to build in a new area or in a country. So like if we picked a country that didn't have money, or if we went somewhere and this country was poor, didn't have anything, or what people consider poor. I don't like that word poor, because the reason why I don't like the word poor is because when God created human beings and he created the world, if you look at this concept, all the materials that exist in the world that we need to survive in mind, that means that God put enough in the world that, and so much of it is abundance, that he meant for everybody to live in prosperity. So this concept is basically, if you try to build a civilization without money, it will work. But the thing is getting people to cooperate, and then different levels, people will feel what, based on their level of importance, what some people may have more than others, is that they would feel that their level, or how people feel with their level, is why they may not cooperate. So basically, if you went to a country that didn't have any money, first off, you'd have to get water. Once you got water to that country, then you would have to have food. Once you got food, then you would have to build buildings. Then from that buildings, then you would have to have clothing, and you would have to have all your modern conveniences, your appliances, and your technology. Now, all of that comes from the ground. Money does not make any of that. You just pay people to mine it and to work and produce it. But if you built in this country this ecosystem where everybody contributed, where you can go in and say, hey, we got to have water, food, we got to have a home, clothing, shelter, and everybody had a task assigned to them, and if everybody contributed to that task, then everybody would live comfortably. Now, the brick wall that we may run into is robots. Robots are coming. Robots are really advanced. You can go to YouTube and pull up the videos, and you'll see robots. In most of the assembly plants, robots are just about to replace humans. So they're really advancing. So in the future, if robots replace all humans, then if humans can't work, they don't have income, then how will they survive? Now, if you think about corporate CEOs and companies, they may not be able to see this coming. So they build robots. Robots replace humans. Humans don't have money. So how do they survive? How will they survive? So robots will fit perfectly into this ecosystem. Robots will actually do all of your building your cities, getting the water to the cities, and basically Then they will do all your farming because they have tractors now. They don't need humans in tractors. So they will do all your farmings. Robots make all your clothes. They make everything. But of course, no company is just going to turn their robots in their company over to produce for humans without getting paid. But that's the brick wall that they may not see that we're going to run into. So the reason why this is so important is that if people don't have a plan and if they can't see this, then the brick wall that they're going to run into is back during the Depression. So I think that's going to be very, very beneficial if they can see that. So once robots, have replaced humans in the workforce, so yes, robots will build your homes. Robots will do everything for you. But we have to get people in the mindset that, yeah, you're probably not going to work. You're probably not going to need to work. But robots will basically do everything that humans did do, and they will do it for free. So a lot of people think that when you hear the system, you're giving somebody something free for free. Well, it's not that you're giving it to them for free, because if you look at all the materials in the world, the iron, all of the minerals, the wood, the food, the nature, it comes from God. God created the world, and he created everything that we need to survive, and he gave it to us for free. It's free. Everything has always been for free. People just don't share these resources, like that, because people have to contribute. So if you don't contribute and go out and work, then you're right. You're not going to have anything. And sometimes those jobs weren't there. But once you get into a system where robots are starting to replace human beings on a higher level, percentage-wise that is, then once they can do that, then every human being should be able to live comfortably. So what will we do then once robots replace everything, replace all the humans in jobs, and then everything's provided for you? Well, what will we do? We'd be like Adam and Eve when they were in the Garden of Eden. So with Tesla and his technology with electric cars, and they talk about electric cars, they talk about electric trucks, and then you have planes that fly 24 hours a day. So I think what's going to stimulate humans and what's going to come is this vehicle that I thought of. I would call it Eden. So basically what Eden would be a mobile home. Now in a mobile home, this mobile home, they say when you build an electric vehicle, the bigger the floorboards, the more batteries you have, the longer the charge. So if you have a vehicle that is electric, it's autonomous, it drives itself, and if you put on the top, like some of these planes, they have solar panels on the wings. They fly 24 hours a day because they constantly get charged. So if you have electric RV that's being charged 24 hours a day, and you have free heating and free AC, and they released a robot here that it's called a robotic chef. You can see the videos on YouTube, so you can go out to YouTube and watch the robotic chef. So if you got an RV that actually you don't have to worry about heating, AC, and it cooks for you, the only thing you have to worry about is water, supplying the water, the food, and the suspension and tires. So you would be like they were in the beginning with Adam and Eve, and you basically travel and enjoy life. So the future looks bright. It's just how you think of it. I wrote this on my Facebook page, and it's all written there and it's documented, but sometimes people need to hear the person and see the face come forward with it. So I'll probably make more videos on this, and thank you. Have a great day. So this is what will happen if you burn all the money in the world when robots take over and eat. Thank you. Bye-bye.